Okay, just out getting some prana, walking in the beautiful Kelowna, British Columbia country. And I wanted to share something with you guys today that I think you'll find pretty beneficial. There is a fluid inside of your spine. This fluid is called cerebral spinal fluid. Now, it goes from the base of your spine all the way up to the, up into the base of your skull. And this fluid circulates. On average, it takes about a day, 24 hours to do a full revolution. And this fluid can be controlled, and it can be a pretty excellent thing for you guys to start practicing for health benefits. So that's what I'm speaking on here today. It's the cerebral spinal fluid, also known as the chrism. You may have even heard of this fluid referred to as the Christ. But we're just going to keep it, we're going to keep this more scientific than anything else, because if you guys are like me, you might like science. So here's the science behind this. So, a great way to be able to control this fluid is by flexing your perineum muscle, your sphincter muscle. Now, one of the powerful exercises to build this muscle up is to flex it about 500 times a day. You can be doing this anywhere. You can be sitting in your car on the way to work, and you can practice this. You don't have to, it's obviously not a very physical exercise, but nonetheless, you can do it anywhere, at the office, at work, and you want to do it 500 times a day, but you don't have to do all 500 at once. In fact, it's recommended to just break it up in increments of 50. So, why do we want to build up the perineum muscle? How's that going to help us? What's that going to do? Well, this will help you pump this spinal fluid from the base of your spine all the way in to the base of your brain. But Mike, why do we want to do that? Well, here's the science. So we've seen, a lot of us have used a lighter in the past that has a little spark that comes from it, and that ignites the fluid. How does that work? Well, some of them use batteries, but most of them use what's called a piezoelectric crystal. How this crystal works is when you apply pressure to it, it disperses a small electric charge. Pretty cool. That alone is a pretty fascinating thing, but science has discovered that in our brain, we have little tiny piezoelectric crystals in our fluid that is surrounding the pineal gland. Okay, just going to catch my breath here. Now the crystals are extremely tiny. They are a micron in size. If you were to think of that, it's basically 1/100th the width of a human hair, even smaller. So, they're tiny. But nonetheless, when you apply pressure to this fluid, it will cause a small electric charge to happen. So this is really cool. Now, to practice this, you want to be sitting. You want to intake a deep breath through your nose. Keep your tongue on the roof of your mouth. Remember, we're electric beings, and for certain circuits to close, we need to have our body in certain ways. So keep the roof of your mouth on, or your tongue on the roof of your mouth. Inhale, deep breath through your nose. Hold that breath in. You want to inhale deeply into your stomach. And you want to lock the breath. This is referred to as a breath lock, where you flex your perineum muscle, and in turn you also flex your abdominal muscles. And you want to flex them very, very hard. So when you do this, this creates your spinal fluid to go from the base of your spine. And it causes that fluid to circulate. Now, when this fluid is being pushed through your spine by flexing these muscles in this way, remember to hold that breath. This will cause pressure in this cerebral fluid that has the piezoelectric crystals in it. And we know that when we apply pressure to this, then it causes an electric spark. And this all happens in the fluid, again, surrounding your pineal gland. And if you guys know much about the pineal gland, a lot of people refer to this as your third eye. And this should be practiced during meditation. So, what happens when electricity is sparking around your pineal gland? Well, it wakes it right up. You can put yourself into an altered state of consciousness by practicing this, which, all sorts of benefits can come from this. Health, mental, spiritual, can come from practicing this. So we want to awaken the electricity in the fluid that surrounds our pineal gland. If we can start to pump that fluid, that's what causes the pressure. Now, the pineal gland is just slightly bigger than a grain of rice. It's located basically in the center of your brain. And it has tiny little hairs on it, tiny little silica hairs. And when this fluid starts to pump through your pineal gland, it creates these little hairs to flow, and it excites them and it wakes them right up. So this can be incredibly awakening, and it can cause visions, again, if you're meditating, and a very, very powerful practice for you. So there's a great little hint for you guys. Remember, get outside, get this prana, get this chi energy. Try and ground out as often as you can. We're electric beings. If you've walked through a hallway and you've touched your doorknob, or gotten out of a car and you've gotten a shock before, you know that we do hold a charge. And it is very important to ground your body for at least 45 minutes a day. So this is called grounding or earthing. I encourage you guys to check this stuff out, do a little bit of research on it. What a beautiful area though, holy. It's my first time walking through here.